Hello, Minkles. Can you hear us? Can I hear you guys?
Hello.
There we go.
Can you hear
Hello.
us?
Yes, I can hear you guys.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, chat. Are you guys stoked? Can everybody's coming in loud and clear? Cool. You guys let us know at any time if somebody's muted and we might not notice, or if anything, if our cameras change into different people's blocks. You guys let us know. Hello. What is up, my Minkles? Are you guys ready for this? Because I'm pretty ready for this. I'm so excited right now. That's me. Screams internally and externally. Dolan looks like a A+ DM. Big facts. Big facts, guys. Just so you know really quickly, thank you for the resubs and stuff. I do have alerts muted, but they will pop up. Every alert will pop up. I just don't have them loud or on as far as sound goes, just so that we don't interrupt the flow of the story, etc., etc. And then I just will really quickly say that I'm not going to be really addressing chat once the story gets going. I will not be responding to you guys. Again, just to keep the story flowing, not to interrupt anybody. This is not going to be me interacting with chat, just so you know. Okay, let's get that out of the way. When we take washroom breaks and stuff, I will thank people for the resubs or the host, whatever, etc. But I just wanted to get that cleared up. And then also, yeah, D&D. Okay, cool. My mods are already putting exclamation mark D&D, so they know what's up. She's too popular to interrupt chat now. Yeah, truth. Okay, Dylan, I'm gonna let you take the reins. Oh, he does not look ready.
Oh God. Sorry, I was just sharing the stream link on a bunch of stuff.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to keep talking? I can keep talking. I
No,
can stall.
I think we're good. There was one weird thing Roll20 was doing, and now it just stopped. It was like, well, it's like JK, do your thing. So I'm gonna do my thing. Am I good? Can I take over?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Welcome everybody to our very first Minkles and Dragons D&D stream. I am the DM, Dylan, also known as Silver Kestrel Studios. I am the one who will be DMing and providing a lot of different design elements and stuff that you'll see. This overlay and a whole bunch of other crap. Also in our little group here, we have, as always, the lovely Dara Def, who is, I believe, directly below me. She is the one kind enough to host this and gather us all together and get this going. Next to her, we have Saji, who is a lovely member of the Dara Def community. I mean, everyone here is a lovely member of the Dara Def community. But Saji's joining us here. She's going to be character. And then we also have MWB Design Studios. MWB. Nope. Am I pointing? Is this where he is for me, Dara?
Other way.
This way.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
There you go. Brady Bunch action. That's what I was thinking.
MWD was kind enough to provide these beautiful portraits of all the characters we have for you guys to look at, along with the pictures of a lot of things we'll be using in the game for tokens. And then our first guest for this system is on the very far end there. It would be TJ, also known as Ghost Badger. He's going to be joining us as our very first guest. So every session we do, we're going to rotate in a new guest player at the end of every adventure. So every adventure we do, you'll see one new fourth party person. But TJ is also our fantastic fill-in, who's essentially like, anytime one of our guests is like, I can't come because my uncle's aunt exploded and my speedboat's made of 6 different horses. When that happens, he can stand in and continue a narrative that we'll be doing with his character. So why don't we start with introductions for everybody's characters, so you guys can go ahead and introduce yourselves. And then I will explain to you all how the game system is going to work and what we're going to be utilizing. So Dara, why don't we start with you? Why don't you go ahead and introduce your character to everybody?
Okay. You guys can hear me? Yeah, I'm unmuted. Okay, cool. I am Kip. That's my name. I am an elf. I'm not telling them what my weapon is yet, right?
No, we're revealing all of that as we play.
Okay, so we're just like giving our
What you're doing is
bio.
you're just kind of giving a basic rundown. When we get
Okay.
into the game, there'll be an opportunity for you guys to, in character, explain yourselves.
Okay, I'm just going off of my bio, like
You're
that we
just
have written.
talking as who you are right now, as people you are right now.
Okay. So I'm an elf. However, I was a former queen of a tribe of nomadic elves, but I was actually cast out of my coven because I'm just not elf enough. I don't have an elven tiny little cute nose. The only thing that I have is really my ears, which you guys can't really see at the moment, but that's like the only elven thing I have. I'm fucking short. I'm stunted. I'm not an elf, and my family wasn't okay with that. We're very regal. They're very regal, and they're not okay with it, so they actually cast me out. What? I know. Lame. But yeah, that's who I am. I'm happy though. I'm glad that I left those douchebags, and it's fine. I'm a queen in my own mind, so whatever.
All right. Very good. Thank you very much, Dara. All right, next up we have Saji. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to us?
So I am Keefe, a gnome mage. I do my best to share and help everyone with my magic. Sometimes it doesn't always go according to plan, and I don't really know why. I'm just trying to help, and I'm learning as I go to be the best mage that I can be.
Very good. Excellent. All right, and now we have MWB. Why don't you go ahead and give us a bit of a rundown? Now, keep in mind, you can do your in-character introduction in-game. This is just you talking as MWB.
You're muted.
Muted. Also,
Right. I was born of a high-born aristocratic father and a whorish mother, so I'm used to the aristocratic life, but I hate them, and as a result, I became a thief. And my whole goal is to basically destroy the high-born class with my thieving. And I'm a bit of a dickbag.
Down with the yield system.
Yeah, down with the, what is it? The proletariat? I don't know.
All right, perfect. And then last we have our guest character played by TJ. TJ, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to us?
Hello. I'm playing the character Elias Kolang. He is a high elf who is very elitist, to say the basic. He doesn't like lowborn scum. He doesn't get along with them, and other races just don't match the elven standard.
Well, fair enough. All right, so that's all of our players. That's their basic rundown of the characters. You guys will learn more as we go into the game. But a little bit of a disclaimer for everybody before we start here, and I start introducing the adventure. We're going to be using a program called Roll20. So Roll20 is an awesome online resource that lets you play D&D. Somebody's microphone is making a lot of passive weird noises.
Oh, maybe it's mine? Hold on. Let's see.
But yeah, Roll20, it's an online program that we can use to essentially give you like real-time maps and integrate like all kinds of macros and blah, blah, blah. Really useful. If you guys haven't used it for online D&D, I highly recommend it. Now, that said, what we're calling D&D isn't necessarily Dungeons and Dragons. We're not actually playing 5th edition. What we're doing right now is an amalgamation of different kind of like core concepts, but it's been trimmed entirely of non-narrative fact. So things like levels, stat lines, like specifically named abilities, all that stuff is gone. We're not using it because we're doing this as a live broadcast. We want to do it to entertain you guys. It's like it needs to have more of a play element, right? So we want to keep things fast. We want to keep you guys interested. So for those of you who might be watching and being like, excuse me, but you didn't roll 4d6 8 times, whatever the fuck, to do flaming dick attack, that's cool. You can keep your math play. Everyone has their own way of role playing, but for this broadcast, we're not going to be using anything anyone's really seen before. The way it plays out is every time somebody does something, They roll a d20, anything. Does skill tests, anything, you're attacking somebody, you know, I want to pick my nose, roll a d20, let's see if that critically fails. The whole point of it is you just roll a d20 and I narrate what happens. The majority of the experience is from the narrative from the DM. More so than any other game style, I am the one who narrates and illustrates everything as it occurs. All the players are doing is inputting to me what their decisions are. I tell them how those go down, essentially based on their roles and the circumstances. And in the other exception is if you hit somebody with something and you're doing damage, or anything for any point or purpose, is doing damage, you would roll d6s. And I would tell people how many d6s they roll. And then they would just be like, boop. So yeah, and we'll also be doing initiative combat. So that never really changes with role play because you can't not turn-based this stuff. But essentially everyone will be rolling their initiatives, blah, blah, blah. There is one other mechanic that has many other names in many other systems, but what I'm calling it for this is behavior points. Essentially, with behavior points is, let's take an example here. We're playing, and I'm narrating something, and then all of a sudden, Saji's just like, hey, Gillen, eat a dick. I'm like, that's pretty rude. You just interrupted my narrative. -1 behavior point. If you earn negative behavior points, I can spend the negative points as the DM to force you to re-roll dice rolls or any other kind of thing. If, however, you do some really cool stuff or listen super duper well, you get the equivalent of what is like a classroom gold star by earning a behavior point. So I'm like, hey, do the thing. And then they roll a natural 20 and they're like, I did the thing so well, this guy's head flew off of his body and now I'm a millionaire. I'd be like, shit, that's pretty cool. You get a behavior point because that was really impressive. So that's kind of like how that mechanic works. Yeah, so essentially that is the breakdown of everything we're going with here. I don't really think there's anything else we need to mention. Dara, can you think of anything else we need to mention?
Let people know about, I don't know if you did. I don't think you did. Twitch Picks? The poll?
Oh, right. The most exciting feature for you, the audience. So essentially, we have integrated a voting system, which I can test with all of you right now so that you guys can understand how it works, so that when things get critically, basically when things get exciting, more or less, we all know what we need to do. So what I'm going to do is I've added a poll to the list, and you should see pop up on the right side of your screen is a little thing that says Twitch Picks, and then you can vote on a poll, and we can see the results of that poll, essentially.
Can everybody see that? Yeah. Left says Nixus. Okay.
No, it's this way for me on your screen, right?
I don't know.
Yes, Dylan, it is that way on your screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Move your mouse left of the screen. Okay.
All right. So essentially, as you see that poll, it will tell you guys, it takes a second sometimes, but you can click on a vote, and then your votes will register, and then when I decide, I'll cut it off, and then that'll be the result. So this is what I'm calling the fate system. So you guys are the fates. You're going to decide if some things happen in this adventure or if something else happens. I'm going to give you multiple options. Everyone's going to vote. It'll be a good time. Sometimes they'll be vague, and you'll be like, that probably means they're going to get kittens. And then they get, like hit in the dick with wooden cudgels, and you're like, I didn't read this right, apparently. But basically, you're going to get to have a fun time voting for what happens to people as we do the thing. All right, so that's it. We've got the voting. We've explained the system. We've explained everybody's names and characters, and essentially, Dara, if you could be so kind as to switch everything over to the game mode.
Absolutely.
Where you actually see screens and stuff.
Yeah, yeet. Good. We're there.
Yes. So, to update you guys on what you're seeing right now, this is the game screen. When we're actually playing the game, the little logo down below will disappear and Roll20 will appear on the screen beside us. Right now it's black because I haven't revealed anything yet. Nobody has anything to see. It's part of the intro, so blah, 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 blah. But essentially, whenever we type something in our chat to roll, you will be able to see in this little box down here what people rolled. The exception are things that are sent privately to the DM or anything that I roll to determine what happens, because DM rolls in Dungeons & Dragons are generally hidden. So, hey, party, could you go ahead and roll 1d20 for me and add a modifier of 5?
How do I do that? Slash roll d20.
No,
how do you add a modifier?
Buttons for a reason, Tara.
Oh. Okay, wait. But how do you add a modifier?
You click on the button, it'll ask you to add a modifier.
Oh, with what? 5?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not showing up on our little box down below.
It isn't?
No. Am I in the right thing? Yeah.
Are you focused on the right little area?
Maybe not. Maybe it's like lower here. Sorry, I'm gonna spam this really quick and see if it shows up on the bottom. Yeah, there we go. Sorry.
Okay, good.
It's just such a small little area. So now from here on,
text, we're fucked.
Yeah.
I wrote all these macros with action text.
Let's try it again. Can everybody do that again?
All right.
Yeah.
Once again, everybody roll me a d20 with a modifier of +5.
There we go. It's like yeah, it should be fun.
Perfect. So everything's displaying properly now?
Yeah.
You know the weirdest part about this is when I talk to you and look like I'm talking to you, I'm just talking to my junk. I'm like, hi, Dara. How's it going?
You know, I've heard people have named their junk after me. You wouldn't be the first. It is.
Oh.
Anyway.
Dara Dick Fritas.
Anyway, that was great. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll see you next Friday. Jesus.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay. So we've covered everything. We've done all our introductions. Everybody's talking a whole bunch in the chat. You know, it's fun, exciting. Who wants to play D&D?
I would like to.
Everybody here, everybody in chat, who wants to play some D&D? Who wants to see some D&D? Come on, get hype in the chat, guys. Come on, we can't start without if there's not enough hype.
I want hypes. I want hypes in the chat.
So much hype. All the hype you can manage.
All of the hype. I'm trying to type it. It's not working.
That's fair. Yeah.
There we go.
Nixis raises her hand. Excellent.
There we go. There we go. That's some hypes.
Yeet. Hype.
Yeet. Awesome. There we go. Holy fuck. We're ready. We're ready.
Man, that delay though.
Right?
Like, man, nothing's happened. And then all of a sudden it was just like
so much.
All right, guys.
On pop out too, so it takes an extra minute.
Yes, right. Pop out is delayed. So I'm going to start the introduction here to our little adventure. And I ask that all players mute your microphones until I tell you to specifically unmute them, okay? Oh. Alrighty. We should probably test one thing before I start, just to make sure everyone can actually hear this. Dara, can you unmute for a quick second?
Eat.
Okay. I'm going to play a noise, and can you let me know if you hear it? And then can everyone in chat let me know how loud it is for them, okay?
Yes.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready.
I'm ready. Yes. I can hear it. You fucking dork. Can everybody hear that sound? Can we confirm?
Did you guys hear that? Let me see. Let me just hold on. Is it good? Is it working? Can you guys? Is it coming across okay?
Yeah, I think we're good. Oh my god, I just noticed something. Hold on. Oh my god, look at this together. It's so perfect! Oh my god, the colors and everything. Sorry.
Oh no.
I just had to nerd out there for a second. Amazing. Okay,
all right.
So I'll mute.
Perfect. All right, everybody. Time for me to open up my script. And I'm going to scroll down to the script. Oh, building tension. Welcome to the city of Edders. Built on the back of an ancient and mysterious mobile construct, millennia old, used once long ago to house the survivors of a great global cataclysm. The colossal mining city moves north across the titanic continent of Dorota every year in search of rare minerals buried deep within the permafrost. After the warmer season has had its day in the world, and time once again sees the return of the cold to the frozen plains, the city makes its return journey south ahead of the coming deadly snowstorms to process and sell their earthly harvest. This is a cycle it has repeated for centuries, uninterrupted and resolute. Until now. It started as a secret, but as the months progressed, the secret became louder and louder until finally it had reached the streets and people knew. Edders was not moving. As panic took hold of the populace, an exodus of fleeing denizens erupted in steady waves from the quickly emptying city, seeing only either the most devout or the most unlucky of inhabitants remaining behind. With desperation leading the charge in the last few weeks, the order has been given to allow any and all interested parties with a modicum of qualification into the vastly complex network of machinery that controls the city in a last-ditch effort to identify the source of Edders' inoperability. To this effect, the last of the few adventurers remaining as the city is covered in increasingly heavier blankets of snow have gathered together at the Digging Badger, one of the more well-insulated drinking establishments with room enough to muster the initiative at hand. It is here that tonight's protagonists currently reside, awaiting the call to action that will see them delve deep into the artificial construct below their feet in search of answers. All right, you guys can unmute.
Woo!
Huzzah.
Excellent. Welcome, players, to the Digging Badger, one of the only warm spots left in the city. You guys are all chilling around a table together, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce the situation to you. As the three of you sit around one of many ornate stone tables within the building, spread about the tavern, taking in the tense ambience of small talk and anxious preparation, the wafting scent of a beard soaked heavily in ale reaches your noses. The source of the smell, a grinning and very sparsely dressed dwarf, sits across from you. In fact, he is so sparsely dressed, he's not wearing any clothing at all. Greetings, fellow problem solvers, he says with a mirthful and partially drunken tone. Seeing as we're all here for the same thing, stands to reason we could all do with a wee bit of familiarity to help grease the wheels, eh? So I have a fun idea. Why don't I start first? I'll introduce myself. My name's Dolan Digbeard. Pleasure to meet you all. I'm a dwarf, if you couldn't tell. And this here is my best friend in the whole wide world, Deathbreaker. And the dwarf hefts one single heavily muscled arm above his head, displaying an impressive-looking obsidian weapon with a pick point on one end and a hammerhead on the other, and smirks at you all proudly as he does so before continuing. All right, that's me sorted. What about ye folks? Let's start with someone at random. You there, the little one, the tiny one, the little you're even shorter than I am. I'm a dwarf. What's your story? Go ahead and tell me about you.
Me?
Yeah, that's you, girly.
Well, I'm Keefe, and I came here because I think there I think that my little bit of magic might be able to help this problem. I'm a mage, and I don't really know how I got here. Something kind of happened, but all I knew is that I was coming to come help. Don't really remember where I was before, but hopefully we can help.
He nods in approval. I've been there before. I'm a wee bit of an anthropologist myself. I like to go places, see things. I believe in a lot of freedom, as you can tell. But you know what? Why don't we move on to the next one? You got some real shoulders on you, don't you? Baldy there with the. I'm sorry if that's offensive, by the way. I don't mean to offend anybody. I'm a very friendly dwarf. But yeah, go ahead. Tell me about you.
The name is Laszlo, and I'll ask you not to offend my shoulders. I'm here for my own reasons, and I shall not share them with you. But I will let you know that if you get in my way, you will feel the pain. That is all, sir.
All right, that's a little hostile. I don't begrudge you the way you want to respond to people. It's okay. But you, you're a tall drink of elven beauty, aren't you? What's your name? The blondie lady elf.
I'm tall? You think I'm tall? I love you already. Hi, I'm Kip. Yes, I'm an elf, but I'm pretty small for an elf. But I'm here because I also want to help the cause. I don't want to move anymore. I've traveled so many times, and I just really like this city. I don't want to keep moving. I don't really like telling people, but I was kind of cast out from my coven. My family doesn't like me because I'm not elven enough. I'm not fancy enough, whatever. But I just want to find a purpose in my life, and I hope that I can be the hero and the queen that I'm supposed to be.
All right. Well, that's fair. I like you. You're eager. You've got a lot of potential to offer in situations like this.
Thanks.
And now, as for the other elf who isn't looking at me currently, and seems to be feigning disinterest. Hey, how you doing? What's up with you?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, you big old tall imposing fella.
Go get some clothes on, then come back.
All right. That's enough from that man, apparently. Well, it's very, very nice to meet you. I think we're all here for the same purpose, helping others, making things go right, exploring the world. But it's a wee bit cold out there, so I can understand that, maybe we don't have as many people here for this old little get together. And he rambles on like that, and you're just kind of like, Jesus Christ, he won't shut up. But before he can continue his inquiries, you can hear somebody kind of like loudly clearing their throat through, it seems like amplified magical means. It resonates as if the speaker was basically standing right beside you. And as you all turn to look at the source of the sound, you see this kind of like strange, ornate-looking stone that's glowing, and like it kind of pulses when the speaker talks up to his neck. And as he holds it to his neck, he can kind of like amplify his speaking to everybody. And you see a fellow dressed in gray robes, and he's got these big gray like rock shoulder pads, and he's wearing a badge. And all of you can immediately identify him as essentially a member of the Order of the Singing Stone. And the Order of the Singing Stone, their job is to protect and repair the stone constructs in the world, everything that's been built up to this point, essentially. Most of the things that people rely on and live on are built out of stone that are sung through magical means. So as denizens of this world, you're all obviously very well aware of the fact that magic in this world also isn't so much what you learn from a book, what intention you channel. So when you're looking to cast a spell, it's not like, I cast Fireball because I learned it from experience and blah, blah, blah. No, it's because you've now learned Fireball, and you're like, I'm going to cast Fireball, and if you commit to it, if you can really visualize it, it'll happen. So, this gentleman who belongs to the Order of the Singing Stone, he's standing up there with this thing to his neck, and he goes, yes, your attention, please. Yes, thank you. Hello, yes. I am here to gather you all together, as you know, because, well, the city's not moving. That was out of the bag a long time ago, but, sorry, is this, you can all hear me, right? Right? Yes? You're there.
We can hear you. You're good.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes?
You're good.
Yes?
Go on, sir.
Yes, we got you.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, good. Good. All right. Okay, so sorry about that all. I'm a little new to public speaking. Normally, I don't leave the central spire of the city. It's all very new to me. But you are the last remaining adventurers in the city who can help with this problem. Hooray. Hooray to all of you. Yes, but anyways, basically what I'm looking to do here today is take you all underground with me and get the city going. I know you can hold your gasps. Normally nobody's allowed beneath the city except for, like authorized people like myself who have spent many years studying the art of singing to stones. Don't laugh at that.
Alone by yourself under the city. Makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. It does. Thank you, tall, white-haired elven man. You understand me. Yes, anyways, so all of you who are gathered here today, maybe I'd say about 40 of you, 40 people in this room. We're going to go ahead and just kind of get this moving along and take you all underground. And I'm really out of ideas. So basically what's going to happen is we're going to go on the elevator that takes us normally to the central spire, but it's going to go down instead. I know, I bet none of you knew it could do that, but it does. And that's how we get underground. So what we're going to do is we're going to get together in a big ball because it's currently still very cold outside. And then we're going to go to the elevator and we're going to go down and then we're going to poke things and you're going to try your damned hardest not to break my goddamn city. Sorry, this is hard for me. And yeah, and then hopefully we'll be able to fix the problem. So I'm going to give you all a little bit of time to get your things together, and then we're going to go bundle up, and we're going to head right over there. Okay, thanks, bye. So as you guys kind of like sit about and muddle with that, Dolan turns from watching and turns back to you guys and goes, I don't want to say anything not too nice about people, but he seems a little odd. Just a bit. And yeah, and he looks over at what is it? Kit. Damn it. I don't have the overlay up. So Kip. Looks over at Kip and goes, anyways, so we've introduced ourselves. What is it that you think we're going to find under there? Because I have no idea, but I'm very excited to see the inside of the city.
Honestly, I don't really know. I just picture a bunch of cog wheels and stuff. Like, I'm imagine that something came undone and we are literally, I don't think it's going to be crazy. I think we're just going to have to find like a broken piece and like put it back. But I don't really know. Hopefully there's something like way cooler down there. But like, I just don't know. Maybe there's gold. Maybe there's treasure. Maybe, I don't know. I'm excited.
Oh, that's, I like your spirit. You're eager, you got optimism,
Yeah. This can't possibly go wrong. Nothing can go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong in a dark underground space.
Not at all. We would have heard about weird, creepy, scary monsters down there already. I've lived here for quite a while now. We're good. This is perfectly safe.
Nothing could exist unseen until today underneath the stones.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. What about you, little girl? Little gnome. What about you? What do you think we're gonna find under there?
Well, I think it'd be really cool if the city was actually run by a lot of little creatures in there that were just scurrying away, keeping the city going. So that's what I hope's down there. And then maybe we can just bring them some snacks, bring them some love. And
I got some brownies for them.
Perfect. See, we'll just give them the brownies.
I
and
would
they'll
love
learn
that.
And live again, and then the city will start moving.
Yeah.
That's what I hope.
That sounds
I hope
good,
for that
yeah.
too. That sounds cooler than what I think is down there. Yeah.
I like the ideas you ladies have. What about you, Poofy Shoulders? What do you think's down there?
Are you suggesting that we are going to be getting our hands dirty? Because I don't believe I am made for that kind of work. I'm here for things that are shiny.
So you're going down to fix the city by taking things.
You can take from my statement what you will.
Are we allowed to? Are we allowed to take anything from down there if we find it? We're gonna get in lots of trouble.
Is that helping?
Yeah, I think we'll get in lots of trouble, guys.
The dwarf kind of leans in on the table, and you can kind of hear his hairy ass skirt on the stone chair that he's sitting on. He goes, "Now, the man in the gray coat, cloak, whatever, he probably doesn't want that to happen. But I mean, nobody's really left here to do anything about it. So I mean, they'll want a reward whoever finds a solution, or just for helping to find a solution. So I mean, ultimately, it's not really, so bad if a few things end up in a few people's pockets. What about you, white-haired McNotaki? You think we're going to find anything interesting down there?
Probably nothing any of you would understand how to use anyways.
Does this guy have to come with us?
Yeah, okay, are we stuck with him? Can he just keep watch for us? Let us know if it starts moving?
I agree.
That'd be...
Someone has to show you the way, little gnome. Otherwise you'll fall in a crack and get lost.
I'm sorry, Keefe. I didn't mean to laugh.
All right. So the dwarf kind of nods his head and is like, you're a contentious one. I like it. You add a little bit of extra spice. Yeah, so I think everyone should probably grab what they're getting, because I think while I was asking you questions, I'm pretty sure everybody went outside. So let's just go ahead and get together and leave, shall we?
Okay. Let's do this.
All right. So as you guys kind of open the door and head out, you open the door to the inn and see everyone clustered around, and around you is just the most horrific swirling eddies of snow and cold that you've really ever experienced in your life. The city has been covered in layer after layer of snow as it sits here. Far too long. It's been already a month since they were past their due date to head back down south before things start to become incredibly shitty. So if you guys look at the map that I have here up on Roll20, essentially this is the city of Edders. It's not entirely complete. The buildings are all just kind of skeletal designs, but more or less this is the design of the city. You guys are currently at the number 15 on the map. So I know for those of you at home who are probably looking in a smaller box, it's harder to see. I'm sorry about that. Even if you full screen, it might not be so legible. But essentially at the number 15 slot is where you guys are. You can see your character tokens on the map in relation to where you are in the city. This is a system we'll implement so that other tokens can eventually show locations. And if you're doing a bit of sleuthing around the city, we at least know where you guys have been or where you currently are if you ever separate, It's just a handy little interface that shows you the quick name of these areas and then places you can go. So what I'm going to do here real quick is I'm just going to put everything on the correct layer, because your tokens are on the map layer, because I am an idiot. And then we're going to go to the objects and tokens layer. And then you guys...
Fired.
I'm going to make you... Oh, I know. I need this job so badly. So you guys are gonna make your way all the way up here.
Oh, look at us go!
Oh, look at your tokens
So fancy!
move. Oh, you're gonna go to the central access. So that's where you guys are gonna head up. And then I forgot. What's
Dylan?
up? Yeah?
Sorry to interrupt you. Can we take a quick, 2-minute break?
What's up?
Read the Discord.
Read the Discord. Oh, I see. All right. Well, I mean, you technically don't need to be here for this bit. I'll do filler. You can go ahead and do the thing, but we'll keep going. So
Yeah.
Go ahead and do the thing, and I will continue with some filler.
I think someone should pick that gnome up before she gets lost in the snow.
Yeah. So she's we've now learned that. God damn it! I really need to have the thing up. Kifi is narcoleptic, and as you guys move out into the snow, she just down into the snow.
Oh.
So she's asleep now. What do you guys want to do about that?
I don't know if I'm strong enough to pick her up. Can one of you guys pick her up?
I'm not touching it.
Ugh.
I'll
Laszlo?
drag the lass in. It's fine. It's
Okay.
fine.
Okay, thank you. Poor thing. Oh my goodness. I hope
Now,
she's
can I-
I
okay.
do love the ladies. Maybe she'll reward me later.
Don't you lay a finger on her other than picking her up by the waist.
Madame, I will only place my hands where they need to be, all right?
I'm watching you. Don't be a weirdo.
Okay. And so just for clarification, you're not picking her up, you're dragging her?
Through the snow.
Yes, well, I assumed I'd be dragging her by her ankles, so, you know.
No. Can you carry her over your shoulder or something? She's gonna get real cold. There's so much snow around us. Please, put her over your
It
shoulder.
sounds like the lady doth protest.
You know what? Can I do it? Can I just do it? This is crazy. We just gotta pick her up and put her over our shoulders. Can I carry her?
While you guys are arguing, Dolan has already walked up and hefted her over his shoulder.
Look
And,
at that. What a gentleman.
Big furry naked dwarf in the snow who seems absolutely not bothered at all by the freezing cold while he's wearing literally no clothing.
Seems I have been beaten by to the punch. Oh well.
He hefts her over his shoulder and like, oh, I'll carry her until she regains consciousness. If she ever regains consciousness, though, she should let me know immediately.
Hello?
All right.
Hello?
Oh, hello.
Hello? Can you put me
Hello.
down, please?
Yes, I was sorry. I didn't mean to pick you up. You fell asleep into the snow. I figured you didn't want to die, so.
Miss, I volunteered to drag you in first.
Of the sort.
I figured, no.
He did an attempt.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that thing kind of happens sometimes. I don't know what triggers it, but thanks. I guess I can say thanks. Can you put me down though?
And the dwarf just puts you gently on the ground. Doesn't heft you like a sack of potatoes or anything.
Thanks. Thanks.
Excellent. All right. So now that you've all kind of gathered your wits about you and start moving together with all of the adventurers, everyone starts moving south from the tavern towards the central access point on the map there that you can see just north of the central spire. And it seems from what the gentleman had relayed to you guys is that you would be all getting on this huge, this elevator, also made of stone, much like everything else in the city, is probably the size of a mini mall. It's huge. It's a massive stone platform. And you guys are heading down to the south, and you walk past the under renovations currently not on the map rock gardens. And you can basically see a lot of really nicely arranged different sediments and stuff, and this really big park with a couple of trees here and there, but mostly it just shows off all the amazing rock minerals and stuff that have been mined by the city over the generations, and all these impressive collections of rocks. And as you pass that and you go, ooh, oh, isn't that pretty rocks? Nice. You eventually reach the elevator and everyone comes together and kind of sits out there, and there's a big door and it's not opening, and the door won't open, and you're all sitting there freezing your asses off and you're not quite sure what's happening. So Dolan turns to you guys and goes, well, while we're out here in this brisk weather, how are you guys aware of the history of this place?
Honestly, no, even though I've been here a while. Does anybody else?
Of course I know. I'm part of the aristocracy.
Right. Well, for those of you who don't know the history of it, let me give you a brief history lesson on the world around us, just to recap everything. Nobody knows why these cities were built, but they say long, long ago, thousands of years ago, when, our great grand relatives were walking the plains of the world. It wasn't, for lack of a better word, a shithole. The world was covered in trees, and there was water, and there was life everywhere, and all kinds of wee beasties running around making all kinds of noise. It's hard to believe, because the world we inhabit now just seems to be an endless expanse of barren wastelands and dust storms, and just everything is kind of garbage, except for the very far south. As we all know, the further south on the continent you get, you can still find forests and stuff, but pretty much northerly, I'd say about maybe 1/5 of the whole area that we call the world we live in. That's maybe inhabitable, but the rest of it is all just ruins and crap. So that's the backstory. But this city is one of 5 that meet regularly in the south every year. And as you know, the years that we have are 800 days long. Everyone knows that. You're born here. You understand how date and time works in our world, yes. But these 800-day-long years, for the majority of it, everything's cool. And then if you're still in the northern half of the continent, around the 3-month period before the year changes over, everything becomes a swirling vortex of horrible dust storms and frozen nightmares. So, as we can all agree, it's probably good that this thing that we're standing on, this big mobile city, actually starts moving. But the history of it, the history of this city, is that nobody knows about it. Nobody knows the origins. It just moves, and it's got all these big stone legs, and there's at least probably 1,000 of them. I don't know, I'm not an engineer, but this thing moves and it goes really far in such a short period of time, and nobody knows how it does that. Isn't that crazy? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm so excited to be here too. And
Are you expecting a response from us?
no, I'm not. I'm giving an exposition. It's fine.
I'm just really I'm just captivated by you. I don't know, maybe it's your accent or something, but I just want you to talk forever.
Oh, you're a kind lass. I like you. You're nice.
Thanks.
And all right. So, anyways, but yeah, this I don't know the specifics of the city, but I have seen a lot of maps, and I'm an anthropologist, so I understand the history a bit about this place. But more or less, if you were to look at the map, if you had a perfect map of the top of the city from directly looking down on it, that we can all visualize here, I'm sure you guys can come up with it in your imaginations. It's not like we have a handy resource to reference, but if you were to look at a top-down map, this whole place, and and you look at it, you see that there's a weird part that's at the front, and that's where all the merchants and stuff live. That's where everything, at the northern part of it, if you're to look at it in an orientation where that part I'm describing is the northern facing half of the whole city, almost like you were looking at it from here's the 3 residential areas, then there's the area that's the merchants. That place is where all the rich folk live. You know, everyone who survived the cataclysm got on board this. Oh, did I forget to mention these cities showed up out of nowhere and saved everybody? That was probably an important part of the history of this place. But yeah, when these cities, all 5 of them, showed up, and the cataclysm, well, I don't really know much about that, but when it was happening, these cities showed up at major centers where everyone was gathered and trying to survive it. And they rushed on board, and nobody knows where they came from. And the only clues we have is there's these big, tall, crazy white-skinned looking things on mosaics just everywhere. And most people are convinced they're gods, but I'm kind of more convinced they were just really high on the smell of their own farts. Because every mosaic I've seen in this city just looks like a bunch of people being like, oh, thank you, big, tall, white people, for saving us from everything. You know, and I'm not really into the church that's propped up around them. But moving on from that exposition, if you were to look at this city, you would see that we have the rich district. It's popular with all kinds of different functionalities and blah, blah, blah. And you're probably wondering, hey, why is all this stuff, you know, concentrated in one area of this hexagonal like moving city? That's because that part, the big main street in the area and the front there, oh God, I've gone Australian, I'm sorry. Basically, shit, I've lost the accent. It's gone.
That's your thing. You just change accents once in a while, and then we're even more confused. This naked dwarf who now is an Australian naked dwarf.
Yeah, you know, man, we're in Australia. No, I'm going to get it back. Well, anyway, sorry about that. I changed my accent a lot. It's really hard to stay focused when you're so excited about anthropology.
Or drunk.
Oh, that's kind of, I drink a lot too. Anyways, it helps me stay warm. I get cold sometimes, and I don't know why. Anyways, if you look at the northern tip of this merchant
It's because you're naked, man. That's why you get cold.
I got my beard. It covers things. It's big. A lot of people would say this is a pretty impressive beard. You know, anyways, but don't interrupt me, laddie. I'm telling you about the city. Anyways, the northern half of the city, it's got all those fancy things. And it's got a big gate. And at the big gate are Michael Caine. So the rest of this exposition is going to switch between Australian, Michael Caine, and Scottish. So I'm very sorry to all of you. Anyway, fuck.
As you're like giggling to yourself, I'm like, you know what? I'm getting on this too. Solidarity. And I just throw my coat off and I'm fucking topless completely.
Oh, the Dolan is like a little bit like he pauses and then continues explaining to you. And because I've lost my accent completely now and I don't know why, I'm going to continue talking as if I'm describing what he's saying. So Dolan continues to describe to you the city, and essentially at the northern half of this layout that you guys see, there is a big street. And in that big street, the middle part of it can come down in a huge ramp and essentially extend to the ground below when the city lowers itself. And then at the front, there's a gate that is rarely open because the only time they open that gate is when the city docks with all these other cities at a big central gathering point in the south. And that's where most of these big moving cities meet and trade and like, you know, everyone interacts and there's like, ooh, fun peace times and shit. You know, it's kind of functions like King's Landing in Game of Thrones almost. And as you go kind of further south into that, you see all kinds of different like specialty shops, there's merchants and stuff. Edders is a mining town, so they provide a vast majority of everything in terms of like gathered resources for the city. As you look further south on, if you had an imaginary map to reference, there's like big squares that are just like everywhere, and that's the residences. Pretty much the large rectangles you see at the north of all the little ones, those are self-contained kind of like greenhouses that grow all kinds of stuff. Like you can obviously tell someone was preparing for the end of the world because there's a massive myriad of food in there to feed all kinds of different species and what have you. And like livestock is held in some of them and etc. And then all the other little squares are multi-story apartments where like tons of people inhabit. Like these cities have been overpopulated for a good goddamn long while. Edders is a bit of an exception because they travel so far north, most people can't afford to be homeless in this city. So, but it's still very overcrowded and most people are just mining laborers in this place. And then as you go centrally, in the middle of the map you see there is a massive rising kind of like hexagonal like central, I would say castle. It's not really a castle, but we can just describe it as that. It's like a central command, central spire, whatever. And it rises out of the center of the whole city on like a big platform, and then that whole thing continues up way fucking farther into space, essentially. So it's like a big, obvious, like central control spire. And then the place you guys are at right now is a big elevator that goes up to that, but as you've just learned, it also goes down below, so you can actually do maintenance on the city, or I don't know, smoke weed so your mom doesn't find out. Whatever is useful about going into the underground of the city. So that more or less is the description of the city that you guys see. And I'm just going to pause for effect while you all compliment my map.
Ooh, ah. Wow, it's beautiful.
Are we supposed to be impressed? Because
I think it's pretty cool, but I'm gonna put my coat on now. I don't know how you do this. I'm freezing. I'm actually really cold. IRL, so I gotta put it on.
Lady, let me put your coat on for you. I'll be very gentle.
Oh, all right, but no funny business.
I am a gentleman to the last. No funny business from me.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
MW, can you roll a d20 for me? Just click that button. Just go ahead and roll that. No modifiers. Just roll it. What'd you get there?
I got a 13.
Okay. You successfully equip her coat. Nothing goes wrong. You don't accidentally touch anything. So continue on with your interaction.
Thank you, sir.
That was a pleasure. Was it a pleasure for you?
I mean, I wouldn't. Yep, it was. Sure. Yeah. Thank you. I kind of like inch away from him. I'm like, so shifty-eyed.
All right. So as you guys are kind of having that interaction and Dolan has finished explaining the city that you guys inhabit to you, the big door finally comes open. You see it kind of like rise up, and you see this elevator that you guys can all access, and you can see like a group of people kind of like motioning everybody in to get onto the elevator. So are you guys gonna get on the elevator?
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe so.
Do we all want to? Let's go. Yeah, let's do this. I'm ready. I need to. I hope it's warm down there because I am so cold.
Yeah, it's a little cold up here.
Yeah. Ugh.
Is it's Elias, right? TJ? I'm saying it right? Okay. Does Elias want to get on the elevator?
He's already on the elevator. He walked on
Okay.
before you even noticed.
In true Elias fashion.
He's just
Alright,
standing
cool.
on the corner of it, judging everybody else.
So, as you guys kind of stand, you can more or less hear the big door kind of come back down and start kind of closing up, and everyone's on this, and you can feel that it's now no longer super like windy, and you can just kind of make out the snowstorm like on the outside of this big enclosure. It's very sealed.